Zimbabwe killed 6 people, leaving 15 others trapped. Before the news in detail, here is a special message. Governor Chukwuma Soludo has come for a total turnaround maintenance of the Anambra State economy and promotion of Koibo values. Let's give him maximum support for the task ahead. I am Priska Wonko. Good morning and welcome to the Breakfast News. Free cervical cancer screening for female civil and public servants, as well as wives of male civil and public servants in the state, has kicked up at Jeremy Secretariat Complex in Oka. The exercise, organized by the Anambra State Cervical Ambassador and Governor's wife, Nonye Soludo, in collaboration with the World Health Organization, WHO, commenced with a screening of the Anambra State Head of Service, Barrister Theodora Igwewe. Correspondent Joseph Ebocha tells us more.
In her remarks, Barrister Igwewe reminded the people that the screening exercise is aimed at promoting women's health through early detection, while commending Mrs. Soludo for helping to create awareness on the danger of cervical cancer among women and showing interest in the overall well-being of Anambra workforce by introducing the free screening exercise for female workers and wives of civil and public servants in the state. Barrister Igwewe urged those successfully screened to do all they were told by the facilitators. She announced that aside the free screening exercise, WHO, through the Anambra State Coordinator, Dr. Adamu Abdul Nasser, equally promised to treat people who test positive free of charge.
Akanachi Anambra State bụ Dr. Mrs. Nonye Soludo bụ onye ọ bụ nkwekọrịta ya na ndị World Health Organization melụ ụmụ nwanyị ndị Anambra wee ike wee na-eketa oke na ndị na-arụ nyocha arụ a na-enyocha nke anaghị akwụ ụgwọ ka wee malụ ma ọ nwere nwanyị nwere ọya n'ebe anwa bụ ọnụ akpa nwa ebe ụmụ nwanyị si amụpụta nwa.
Also speaking after they were screened, the Director of Administration, Ministry of Economic Planning and Budget, Mrs. Augustina Obiora, and the staff of Anambra State Board of Internal Revenue, Mrs. Nkem Ejide, thanked the governor's wife for having the interest of workers at heart.
Anyway, screaming that is going on. And we are governor, Her Excellency, Mrs. Nonye Soludo. So now we're going to screening for women like cancer because we a lot of women. So so screen them so that don't have like gamma no where we don't know again. When we find out no we don't get treated because they treated earlier. On are easy to treat. But not educated earlier. Ever case on one.
The event featured health talks by the facilitator for cervical cancer screening, Mrs. Grace Anyora, and the Assistant Chief Nursing Officer in charge of the Secretariat Clinic, Chinenye Akusoba, in Oka. Joseph Ebocha reporting for ABS News.
Paramilitary group United Nigeria Chaplaincy (UNC) has sought the cooperation of the media to ensure that its humanitarian services get to the knowledge of the public. Speaking when members of the group paid him a custom visit, the managing director of Anambra Broadcasting Service (ABS), Achido Obidewu, led by the Anambra State Commander, Mr. David Arinzachukwu, said UNC, database by the federal government in 2011, is functioning in different parts of the country where there is need for peace building. Again, Joseph Ebocha has the details.
He said that though still self-funded and are waiting for more recognition by the federal government, the group needs government support in the area of funding, but maintain that lack of it will not deter them from carrying out humanitarian services as their existence will diminish if they stop. In Anambra, the group said they are in peace-building process in troubled communities and can do more with necessary support from the government.
We need government assistance. Because as a chaplain, you can define a chaplain as a priest in uniform, a moral advocate, a peace engineer, a lot of things you can mention about who is a chaplain.
Contributing, the National Director for Logistics, Mr. Eugene Okeke, said non-recognition of the group by the federal government and lack of funding are still challenges to members, adding that when recognized, UNC will continue to help in bringing peace where there is peace for.
The force is not recognizing us. And it will be a very good thing if other contingent forces recognize us as one of them. then that will give us a leverage to what we are doing.
Responding, the managing director of ABS, Sachido, said the establishment has a responsibility of disseminating information that will help in building the society. He noted that non-recognition of the group by the federal government negatively affects people who may wish to collaborate with them, and urged members of the group to sustain public relations campaign aimed at rebuilding the group's image, promising the help of the ABS.
Thank you, sir.
We have a responsibility here in ABS to disseminate information, especially information that will help build the society. And being an organization, there's a need, to embark on redemption of your image and image. So we are going to join in striving to redeem your image, because that's part of what we do here, and pray that in the course of doing that, you are going to be gazetted. And then you have the full force of the law to execute this laudable, scope of operations that you have here. Okay?
Yes, sir.
So we want to welcome you and we wish you well
Thank you, sir.
in your operation.
Joined in receiving the UNC delegation were the acting director of news and current affairs of the ABS, Mrs. Judy Jeff Nwabeze, and the director of commercial services, Mrs. Beatrice Akwananye, while the UNC delegation included the national director for training, Mr. James Obasi, Anambra State General Secretary, Mr. Ben Odiwe, Deputy Operations, Anambra State Command, Mr. Nnamdi Enechukwu, and the national storekeeper, Mrs. Esther Obiozo. In Oka, Joseph Ebocha reporting for ABS News.
Okija community in Ihiala local government area has celebrated one of our illustrious sons and its President General, Prince Ken Emekai, as it clocks 58. The birthday ceremony, which was a recognition of his contributions in uplifting the community, climaxed with the unveiling of a book dedicated in his honor titled Ken Emekai Okija on My Watch. Odinaka Nwolisa, our correspondent, completes the report.
Prince Ken Emekai, a one-time chairman of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, in Anambra State, was surrounded by stakeholders, government officials, and prominent personalities in the area. According to them, the celebrant, no doubt, had left a landmark history in building the community. The member representing Ihiala constituency 2 in the State House of Assembly and chairman on the occasion, Mr. Golden Ilo, remarked that he has defined leadership in the area. In his address of welcome, the author of the book, Mr. Isochukwu Anolue, explained that the book, Chronicles for Posterity, will open a new frontier of knowledge to the people on his leadership benchmark. He further revealed that the documentation will disseminate and increase awareness on his scorecard, Charismatic and Legendary Leadership.
A book. I want you to write a book titled Under My Watch, The Journey So Far. It's about the story of Okija in the last 2 decades. Okija under Prince Ken Emekai as the President General, where we were, where we are now, and where we'll be.
Some indigenes of the community, including Chief Uche Nnobia and Mrs. Ngozi Anamele, laid credence on his patriotism and commitment towards the growth of the community. Unveiling the book, Chief Nwabeze maintained that such serves as a medium to awaken and motivate consciousness on the essence of leadership, reminding all to strive for legacy.
Yes.
Speaking to ABS, the celebrant, Chief Emekai, said the honor will spur him to remain more committed in justifying the confidence reposed in him.
Whatever I'm doing well, that I should do more. Where I'm not doing well, that I have to do. So I show them of my commitment, my loyalty, and my dedication.
Felicitating with Prince Emekai, the Chancellor of Legacy University Okija, Dr. Leo Kaneme, described him as a gift to the community and stressed the need to uphold such books as a model among emerging leaders. Others who spoke includes Chief Ifeanyi Obonadike, as well as the Planning Committee Chairman, Mr. Ugochukwu Onosolugo. Cutting of the birthday cake and unveiling of the book featured at the event, while cultural dances added color to the event. From Okija, Odinaka Mwolisa, ABS News.
The Aje Umweri, Uchenna and Azaba has performed the 2023 Alumwo Festival of Umweri community, heralding the New Yam Festival of the town. The Alumwo Festival took place at Ubugad in Umweri. Some members of the 3 quarters of Nei, Ezi, and Ivite that make up Umweri community in attendance. Queen Anibogo filed this report taken from our studios.
Aje Umeri Okebo, in the course of celebrating the Alumwo, performed the kolanut rituals, killing of goats, and other traditional rites. Later in an interview, the Aje Umeri explained that Alumwo, popularly known as New Yam Festival, is a tradition bestowed upon them by their forefathers. He frowned at youths who get involved in blood money rituals, Okite and Yahoo, and said that real traditionalists do not engage in charms. In his remarks, an 83-year-old red cap chief of the community, Chief Godwin Nwabuwanne, recounted historical facts surrounding the Aje and Alumwo, describing the Aje as the custodian of the customs and traditions of the community, of their forefathers, that nobody in the community dares to celebrate the New Yam Festival before the Aje.
And it is not on
The President General of Umweri, Chief Johnny Mechie, appreciated the Aje for what he stands for and all that rally around him, and described the Alumwo Festival as one of the ways of showcasing the rich cultural heritage of Umweri community. Contributing, the Dikora Umweri, Chief Joseph Anekwe, said that any community that is not progressing, the leaders should ask themselves questions, noting that the Bible says that righteousness exalts a nation, and called on the leadership of Umweri community to always do the right things for the progress of the community.
Na Alumwo, then onye isi Umweri bụ Aje, onye nọ na obi atata na obi anụ abụ Obuga mmanụ ma nne ya Umweri. Onye anụ abụ nye na onye nọ na anọchite anya Ogbu ebe ejimali abụ nya bụ onye isi na Umweri niile. Do isi Umweri ọ bụ. Ọ bụrụ na isi Umweri ọgbọ ọda isi dana no. No ya na represent bụ nna Muleri.
Breaking of kola nuts, paying of homage to the Aje by several groups, traditional dances, music, food and drinks were copiously displayed at the event.
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and the Sultan of Sokoto, Alhaji Saad Abubakar, have appealed to the Nigeria Labour Congress and the Trade Union Congress to shelve their planned strike over the removal of fuel subsidy. The organized labor had fixed Tuesday, October 3, for the commencement of an indefinite strike over fuel subsidy removal. However, speaking during the public lecture, a special Jumat prayer to mark the 63rd independence anniversary of the country at the National Mosque, Abuja, Tinubu appealed to the workers not to embark on the strike. Represented by the Deputy President of the Senate, Senator Jibrin Baru, the President reiterated the commitment of his administration to cushion the effects of the fuel subsidy removal. While stating that the government was new and working hard to bring succor to Nigerians, he added that he has set aside 500 billion naira and other packages are being unveiled to cushion the effects of the subsidy removal. 6 people have died and 15 others are trapped after a mine shaft collapsed in Zimbabwe. The collapse of Bay House gold mine in Chegutu, 100 kilometers west of the capital, Harare, left more than 30 people trapped. 13 miners are said to have escaped or are being rescued. State television reported that efforts to reach those who remain on the ground are ongoing. It is not known, however, what caused their collapse. The Confederation of African Football (CAF) has listed 85 referees for a preparatory course ahead of the 2023 Africa Cup of Nations. No Nigerian referees made the shortlist released by CAF. The list includes center referees, assistant referees, video assistant referees, VAR technical instructors, physical trainers, VAR technicians, and IT support. Egypt and Algeria have the highest number of referees on the list with 3 each. 4 VAR referees were selected from Mauritius, South Africa, Morocco, and Egypt. 7 technical instructors and physical trainers in Zimbabwe, Burundi, Cote d'Ivoire, Senegal, Morocco, Djibouti were also selected. The Super Eagles of Nigeria are among the 24 countries that will compete for the title at the 2023 African Finals. Cote d'Ivoire will host the competition from January 13 to February 11, 2024. Remember, you can follow news and program at ABS in many parts of the world by liking our Facebook page. Follow at Edinburgh Broadcasting Service. Subscribe to our YouTube page at ABS Television or follow on Twitter at ABS Radio TV and on Instagram at ABS Radio TV. You can log on to our website at www.absradiotv.com. To end the news this morning, a recap of the main points. Anambra State government has kicked off free cervical cancer screening for female civil servants. United Nigeria Chaplaincy has sought media coverage of humanitarian services. Federal government has urged Nigerian Labour Congress not to embark on strike. Gold mine collapse in Zimbabwe has killed 6 people, leaving 15 others trapped. To end the news, here is a special message. Governor Chukwuma Soludo has come for a total turnaround maintenance of the Anambra State economy and promotion of core Igbo values. Let's give him maximum support for the task ahead. And that ends the breakfast news at this time on ABS Television. Thanks for watching. My name is Priska Wonko.